I just got a totally reasonable question from the audience while I was live streaming about what is my current workout routine. I guess he doesn't even say current, but what do I do to stay in shape, to stay strong? And the answer is it changes with where I'm living. So the answer today was totally different here in France. I'm only in France for 15 days or so. About 20 days. As opposed to living in Dehong, China, the border between Yunnan and Myanmar. It's different in Dehong than it was in Kunming. I've said in past videos that my advice to people is you've got to get a workout that fits into your employment schedule. And that's one of the reasons why advice from people on permanent vacation is so often misleading, counterproductive, and in a sense wrong. While I was in Dehong, and I'm going back in just a couple of days, in Dehong, my job is being a university professor. I teach students 20 and 21 years old. And the university I teach at is on the top of a small mountain or a large hill, however you want to put it. And there's a staircase leading down the side of that mountain. So guess what I do? While I'm teaching class, I run laps up and down that staircase to get lower body workout. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't so damn hot, because it's been hot, Dehong is hot enough to grow mangoes, but it's also cool enough to grow strawberries. So it does cool off in the winter, but the last few months it was way too hot. I was doing that with no weight on my back. Probably when I go back now, as the year is starting to cool off, I'm probably going to put heavy weights on my back while I'm running up and down the stairs. So that's a really, I'll put up video showing that staircase. But that is a real workout that's in the middle of my work day. That's exercise I can get while lecturing at a university. So that's a great example. I did, when I first started teaching at the university, I did look around to see if there were good spots to do push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, or other forms of exercise on campus. And I've kind of decided against it for a bunch of technical reasons, including trying to keep my hands clean because the amount of time it takes if I do some of those exercises and then go back in to teach class right away. Like you have a 10-minute break. There's a difference between running stairs and doing those other kinds of exercises. And the extent to which all of my clothing is completely saturated by sweat, again, in the tropics. But there's a great example of how to integrate exercise into your daily life within limits. A lot of you have seen footage in recent videos of my home gym in Dehong. I have the luxury of owning a whole bunch of gym equipment in a room with no other purpose. That's the main luxury, is just space. My apartment is big enough for a family of 5 to live in. So I have a whole big, beautiful room with natural light coming in, fresh air if I want it, where I can set up, bench press, other forms of exercise. I would say the outstanding exercise, I should film myself doing it and upload it. I do push-ups with my feet elevated, like maybe 5 feet off the ground, maybe 4.5 feet or something. I really don't know. But I elevate my feet as much as is possible at home using the bench press. Sorry if I grew up in Canada, so I use meters anyway. But anyway, I basically elevate my feet as much as possible. Back in Kunming, I had a nice setup at the gym. There was actually like a chin-up machine where you could set the level of a metal strut, higher or lower. And I would set that not for chin-ups. I'd set that for push-ups because I would put my feet on the level strut so that I was at an incline, so my head is going down towards the floor at greater than 30-degree incline, and then I could ratchet it up and do greater than 45-degree incline. So you have way more weight pressing down on your shoulders with each push-up. You're lifting a higher and higher percentage of your body weight, and it shifts where the strain is in terms of stomach muscles versus arm, wrist, shoulder, back muscles. That's an exercise I've been doing for many, many years. And the great thing about that is if you keep on top of it, doing that type of extreme push-up, is that then if I'm stuck in an airport, I can put my feet up on a fence, on a metal barrier, or just in a niche on a wall, and I can get that workout at airports or in other situations where I'm stuck for hours and can't exercise, or normal people can't exercise. So that's another great exercise to do. Otherwise, it's standard kind of intro to powerlifting stuff. Upright row, bench press, arm curls, butterfly, a lot of butterfly curls, a lot of standing. I guess you'd call them standing butterfly, a lot of, those motions, extending my arms at full way. Right now, my top priority, I have 15 days of legal custody of my daughter. And during these 15 days, the only exercise I'm getting is carrying my daughter on my shoulders, carrying her up here, which is a lot of exercise because she weighs about 35 pounds. And I go up and down stairs, up and down hills, and I walk on the beach with her. And to a limited extent, swimming in the ocean, because I go swimming in the ocean with my daughter. So for this little short period of time, in some ways I'm getting no workout at all. So yeah, the moral of the story is you've got to find a workout that fits into your day. You've got to find a workout that works for you, but you have to be aggressive and enterprising and look for opportunities where there are none. I'm sure most of the university professors at my university think there's no way to get a workout on campus, especially during your lectures. Because I'm not staying after lectures. I'm doing that during the 10-minute breaks in my lecture schedule as a university instructor. But if you look for it, if you care enough to make it happen, normally you can make it happen. And it's probably just the way I look, but nobody's ever been embarrassed. Nobody's ever laughed at me. Doing push-ups in public like that, it's not the way I dress. Nobody's ever second-guessed it. Once in a while I get questions about why I work out so hard if I'm working out in public like that. And I give different funny answers to see what kind of, I don't know, just for my own interest, I suppose. But yeah, that's how I've lived my life for decades. And, as I've said again and again, I'm not an athlete. The reason why my story and my advice is worth hearing is precisely that I'm somebody who's 38 years old, has a desk job, has a lot of responsibilities, moral responsibilities, both financial and ethical responsibilities. I got other things in my mind, other things to do with my time. So the kind of advice I give you is fundamentally different from an aspiring model on Instagram or any one of these kids, vegans on YouTube, living that permanent vacation.